Alright, so idea behind this video here is I've heard a whole lot of different ideas on YouTube when I first got this thing of different ways to load it. This in particular is a 75 round drum for an SKS. They make the same pretty much exactly the same thing for an AK-47, except it doesn't have the duckbill portion. This is specific to the SKS models. So, but what I'm wanting to get at here is the reloading process of these things, because there's a lot of controversy, well, not necessarily controversy, but different ways people are saying to reload them. I've reloaded this one many times. I know how to do it safely, how to not get hurt, because this little thing inside of here, I'm just going to give you a little demonstration. This piece spins. This has your pusher, the carrier rather, that would push the bullets up into there. But it's also on a very, very high tension spring. And some of the videos that I've seen have told you to actually spin it like this until you get that spring all the way to the bottom track. And then you have to hold it under tension while you're putting bullets into this thing. And then you turn it loose. Now you saw how fast that moved. Very dangerous and is unnecessary. You do not have to do that. So one thing that's really cool about these, it has a spring tensioner. It's a button right here in the middle. So let's say I was to close this back up. You have your crank. This is what's going to put everything under tension once you have bullets in there. I can take and turn this. I can hear it click, click, click. But when I open it, let's say I want to relieve the tension, make sure it doesn't matter if there's fingers in the way or nothing. You can just press down the middle and the spring is released, and you can wiggle it back and forth. So I don't know if some of those old videos were made because that didn't always exist, the little push button here, or what, but it exists now. So I'm going to show you a safe way of loading this. Now if you're going to fully load the magazine, let me move some stuff around here. Now, there's two different ways to do this: fully loading and partially loading. Like sometimes I might not want to shoot 75 rounds, but I like the way the drum looks on my weapon, right? So I don't want to load all 75 rounds into this son of a bitch. What you want to do in that scenario is you can press down and you can spin this. Now what you're looking for is this little piece here. I don't know how well you can see it in the video. This is what pushes the bullets up into here. So no matter how many bullets you're putting here, you want to make sure that this is behind. Like if I just wanted a few bullets, I'm going to let go of that and I'm going to put one here, here. So each little section carries two. Then you have a hole for one. And then you'll get another section for two. Then a hole for one. And then we'll just continue that on. But remember, I'm putting these in front of this little carrier, little pusher, because that pusher is what's going to push the bullets towards the end feed of the rifle. So I'll basically just fill this full here. Now that is full, I can take and give this a twist, and all the bullets go straight up in there. I can close it, give it 3 cranks. I want to crank it, crank, crank, crank. You know, you're not going crazy with it. And that's going to put the spring tension that you need to fill this thing up. Now, that's how you would partially load this magazine. Or drum, rather. Now to get everything out of here is going to be a little more of a pain, but now if you're fully loading it, if you're just saying, hey, I got a drum mag, I want to load this thing up with ammo, it's very, very simple to do. I'm trying to make sure you can still see like a pretty flat version of this. Alright, so now you got your pusher. It's pushing it all the way up into here. I don't know if you can see that, but as this part goes up, it swings up and it pushes. So that's what pushes the last bullet up into the firing mechanism area. So what I need to do is I need to get that all the way back around. So remember I was talking about, like, I can't just pull it this way, which is what people were saying that you needed to do in the past, is by pulling it and just, and that's, I don't know if you can feel that tension or see it, but it's very tight. The whole purpose behind this button is I can hold this button down and I can just spin it like it ain't nothing. What it's doing, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, let me. If you look at the ridges behind everything, it isn't a spiral. It spirals from the outside and goes in. That's the track for the bullets. So all I'm doing is I'm pressing this down to release the spring tension, and I'm spinning it backwards until this pusher, see, now it dropped down into the second track. And now I'm moving it around. Now it's down in the third track, and I'm moving it basically until it's as far as it can go, all the way backwards. And at this point is where everything gets very, very simple when it comes to loading the magazine. Because now all I have to do is just fill up every spot that there's a place to put bullets. So you don't even have to be like careful with it. Like, we know we've got the little ring spots, right? The little single spots. So let's go ahead and just fill those in. Like, there's no real science behind it other than you're putting a bullet everywhere there's a place for a bullet. And then once you close it and you tension it, this pusher is going to push everything through that spiral up into the mag well. So yeah, like I say, you don't even have to be like fancy with it. You can just drop, 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 drop. Yeah, I'm putting them all on the outside first. Sometimes I'll do them by twos, like that, in the different sections. I actually played a video game that impressed the shit out of me because they had to reload one of these magazines in the video game, and they did it right. They opened it up and just dropped a bunch of bullets down in there and then closed it back up and gave it a couple cranks. Called it a day. I think it was Scum. So each section, each of these rectangular sections are going to hold 6 bullets. 2 per layer of spiral. You can see the ridges in there, and those are the tracks basically. And that track is a spiral that leads up to, it starts from the center or the middle here behind the pusher, and it leads up into the mag well. So you just drop the bullets in. Yeah, I know this is going to take a minute. It does take a minute to load these. So, I mean, if you're planning on using one, make sure you got it loaded up before you go to the range or whatever you're planning on doing. But see, I see it therapeutic. I love loading magazines, especially ones like this that are a little bit more complicated than just a regular like pistol mag. Let me find a better way to balance this thing. I don't know, it's something about handling the bullets I like. Now, it gets kind of tricky in this area here. We'll do that last. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of these spots. You'll know if the bullet's not in right because it won't be flat. Like, all these are sitting nice and flat, flush with each other. and it's a very satisfying look. So I mean, you'll know it when you see it. I find it easier to do 2 at a time on those square areas or the rectangular areas, because if you put just one in, that one will tend to go in at a crooked angle. Kind of like, for example, if I put that in there, see how it's laying down? Now, if I put the next one in, I've got to finagle around it and kind of play with it to get that one in. But if I put in 2 at a time, half the time, the majority of the time, they'll just fall into place. Bloop, bloop. Now, this is where we get into the weird part. This is the part where everybody gets confused because they're like, well, do I put bullets there because it's behind the pusher or the front of the pusher? So, yeah, you fill up. That's why I said it's easy because you fill up every spot you can fit a bullet. If you can put a bullet there and it still be flush and nice looking like the rest of it, put one there. Now, if you go to put one in and it's all cockeyed and crazy, then no, don't put one there. I think my other one here, I dropped on the floor a minute ago. There you go. Well, I know I dropped one, but for the sake of the video, I'll just pop one out of here. And so that is a fully filled magazine. Now, if you use to count these, that's not 75 rounds because the 75 is going to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds that would be up into the magwell area. But before you close this up, what you're going to want to do, you're going to reach in the middle and you're going to grab it and you're just going to give it a good little twist. See how it pushed all of them up into the top? Now, if I wanted to at this point, I could go back in and put one there, 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 and there. So that's your other 4, 5, 6 rounds that are going to give you your 75. Or you can just say, this is fine. Close it up. Boom. Give it 1, 2, and 3 cranks. And now you're good to go. Now, this is the way you would put those cranks on if you're about to use it. Now, let's say you didn't use it. Let's say, oh, if I didn't get to use my magazine. You can still open it with all those cranks on there. Grab the bullet on the end of the magwell because it's going to fall out. Press down in the middle. Now, all the tension's off the spring. Close her back up. And now you can store it like this and you're good to go. So I normally keep about a half a turn on it just so I can keep tension on this top one. Otherwise it'll just fall out. But now you can store that, use it for any time you want to. Good video. I hope it was informational for you guys. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe. I do all kinds of stuff on my channel. If you go to looking at my channel, disregard some of the older stuff. I gotta get that deleted. But I do some interesting stuff on here. So, like I said, like, subscribe. Leave comments. If you have any questions, I do a lot of answering questions and stuff. I can do videos all about doing tutorials on how to do certain things. So, I can do a little bit of everything, but not a lot of anything. So just let me know. Thanks.